So what we're going to do now in this section is we're going to start putting, it was pretty weird when we put a 0. You remember, well, here, let me go slow. You remember what it means if I put like a 3 in the upper corner? What does that mean? It's a repeat symbol, huh? It means 3 of those repeated. Right? And so that, that's just 8. Okay. So what does it mean then? So what if I go like 5 squared? What's that going to be? Yeah, it means it's a repeat. So numbers in the upper right-hand corner are like repeat symbols, aren't they? And they mean repeat multiplied by itself. So 5 times 5, 25. Good. Okay. So now here's my question. What does it mean to take a number like 3 or whatever and put a negative 2 power up there? How do you, that means repeat, right? How do you repeat it negative 2 times?
You make a lesser value. You're making a fraction.
In fact, let's just make it simpler. Let's just start with negative 1. We'll get to negative 2 in a minute. Let's just do negative 1. Any ideas? What's that? Will it always be negative?
No.
It's odd. What's the answer to 3 to the negative 1? Is it negative 3?
3 negative 1.
Anybody know? You guys haven't seen this before?
3, yeah. 1 over 3.
It's not negative, is it? Okay. The answer, well, here, let's, rather than me just say, boom, here's the answer, because Mr. Heron says so, or the math book says so, my math lab says so, calculator says so. What I'm interested in? Truth, right? Math is about truth, pursuing at least number truth. So let's look at what's true. So and how do we usually get out the truth with math? We follow the pattern, huh? Follow the yellow brick road. So if I'm wondering, let's see how math is researched. Let's just take a minute. I don't want to use up too much time, but just think, what if you had no idea? You had to figure out you were locked in a prison in a foreign country. Have you ever watched that TV show where they're locked up in foreign countries? Math is really patterns. That's it. That really is. Math is the science of patterns. Learning to predict them, describe them, da-da-da-da-da. Patterns. So what is 2? Let's start right there. What is 2 to the 3rd power?
2 to the 3rd power.
2 times 2 times 2. 8. We good? Next one.
4.
2 times 2, 4. Okay. Next one. 2. Let's stop there for a second. Now look at the answers. Don't say it out loud. Give everybody a chance to discover it. Give everybody a chance. Look at what's happening. Don't say it out loud. To the answers, and then keep that going. Keep that same pattern going. You got one shot. Make sure you're following the pattern. So what's happening? Cutting it in half, right?
Yeah.
Half of 8 is 4, half of 4 is 2. So what's the next one got to be?
1.
Half. Got to be 1, which we already know it is. That verifies what we've already seen before. Just cut it in half, cut it in half, cut it in half. Isn't that the pattern? So what's it got to be? Your life depends on it.
-8.
Oh, you're dumb, Manuel. I'm sorry. You're cracking me up. So, all right, well, one more time. What's the pattern?
Half.
It's
Half. So if I got 8,
Oh, it's 1/2.
I got 8.
Oh my God.
8 pigs in my pen. Now I got 4. Now I got 2. Now I got 1.
Now you got half.
0.5.
Yeah, it's just cutting in half every time, isn't it?
It's half 1/2.
It's got to be a half, doesn't it? And that's what it is. That's the truth. And you're free.
It's 1/2.
Right? Does that make sense? That it's got to be, doesn't it? That's the pattern. And that is true. Now I'll give you the rule and all that and everything, but I want you to see what's true first off, and see how math follows the truth. I don't know about you, I always like that about math.
So,
You know, that it just follows the truth. As long as your logic is good, you're there. That's not the truth with language, huh? And you know, English, what's the rule? I before E, except after C.
Sometimes.
Unless it's a rainy Tuesday and the moon is out, and you just do whatever. Yeah, the rules are not good. Now, English is super important. Don't get me wrong. You should learn to read well and write well. You should, if you want to go places in the world, you need to do that. More important than math, probably, is read and write really well. But nevertheless, the rules of language are not, they're not logical. They're just however people talk. They just develop. That's just language. That's how it is. But math just follows pure logic. Make sense? See the pattern? So, what does that mean then? What do negative powers do? Do they make things negative? Is that negative? No. What does it do? It flips it. It flips it to become a fraction, doesn't it? Negative powers flip things to become a fraction. Do you see that?
Okay, so if it was 2 to the negative squared power, then what would that make that one then? Like if it were next?
Good. So you want to do one more? Let's do it. Let me get a little more room here. Start it again. 2 to the third is 8. 2 to the second is 4. 2 to the first is 2. 2 to the 0 is 1. 2, so we're following the pattern. Half of that. So listen, what's something you can have? What if you have a candy bar? All right? We have 8 candy bars. Then, now we have 4. Now we have 2. Now we have 1. Now we have a half a candy bar. So next in the pattern, what's half of my half a candy bar?
1/4.
A fourth of a candy bar. Yeah. And then one more. What's half of my fourth of a candy bar? An eighth of a candy bar. So let's look at that one in particular. That's all true. We've got truth going on here. Let's look at that one close up. What's going on with it? So what do you do? The negative flips it to the bottom, and what's 2 to the third? It's 8. 2 to the third is 8. Right? 2 to the third is 8. It just flips to the bottom with the negative power.
So
Do you see what negative powers do?
So it has the 1 and it goes back up the ladder, basically 2, 4.
Yeah, it's going to be the same numbers. They're just all underneath the 1. It has the 1, like you're saying.
So even
right.
if it was like a 3 to like a negative 3, it'd still be underneath.
Yes.
1 on it.
That's right. That's right. See that? That's the rule. I'll write it out now formally for you, but you guys have got it. You've discovered the rule. Do you see? That's all of math. It's just that. It's just patterns. And you know what? Math is way more interesting and easier to do if you'll look for the patterns like that, rather than like cold trying to memorize too many millions of rules, you know? That's too hard. Look for patterns when you do math. That's what it's all about, those patterns. So, what's the rule then? 2 to the minus whatever. Well, here, let me do it x. So this will be rule number whatever. What's next? Number 5? Rule number 5. Anything to the negative power, what's it going to do? It's going to put 1 on the top, and then what's going to go on the bottom? Yeah, rule number 5. We have 4 on the board. Here's rule number 5. Yeah, on the bottom will be the positive power. Do you see that? Isn't that what happened right here, for example? What's that on the bottom? 2 to the positive 3? Isn't that what's on the bottom right there? Didn't that minus just do 2 to the regular 3 under a 1? So negative powers just put it on the bottom and just do the power thing. Do you see that? Negative powers flip it. They make fractions. They don't put negative in the front, do they? Everybody see that? So that's what you got to keep straight. Negative powers do not put negative in the front. They flip things to the bottom. All right. So there's rule number 5. All right. So let's try one of these. Number 1. Oh, and what do they want me to do here? Let me. All right.
See the number becomes.
So here we go. So what are we going to do? What does a negative power do now? Flips it to the bottom. Does that make it negative in the front?
No.
No. Negatives in the power zone are completely different than negatives in the front, huh? Totally different, as we've seen from the pattern. So it's just going to flip it to the bottom, and then the power becomes positive, regular, in other words. And then you just use your calculator. 4 to the 5th, you know, that's just going to be 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. 1 over 1,024. That good? How are we doing? We seeing that? Is that making sense? Negative powers flip to the bottom. Why do they do that? That's the true pattern, isn't it?
They follow the path.
Good? It's all math. So we've seen, if you take something like 3 to the negative 2 power, what's it going to do again? What's a negative power do? Flips it, and then it becomes positive after the flip, huh? Okay, now here's my new question. I've always got a new question, don't I? What if it starts on the bottom? What do you think? What would be your hunch? What if it starts on the bottom? Yeah, it goes to the top then. Exactly. It basically just goes to the other side. Wherever it was, it goes to the other side. Negative powers make things jump to the other side. So if it starts at the top, it goes to the bottom. Starts at the bottom, it's going to the top. That's right. So this is going to be 3 over 1. Yeah, what would be the best way to do that? It's going to be to the positive 2. So it's going to be 9 over 1, which is just 9. Did I lose you?
Same thing as the other one.
Okay.
Just flip it.
1/3.
So one more time. So negative powers, flip it, but then you still got to do the power. Just like here, right? Negative power, but then you still got to do the power. So after the jump, you still got to do the power.
But what if there's a negative sign inside?
Then just whatever, I'll show you that in a minute. Just do whatever is normally true of negatives. But so everybody good so far? A negative, it's like, you know what it's like? Maybe I can say it better this way. It's like there's two different things. There's a negative and there's a 2. The negative part of the power flips it. And then the 2 just does these 2 things.
Stays.
How about that? Is that a better way to think about it? So the negative part of the power flips it. Same thing here. Flips it. And then the 2 does his power thing after the negative part has flipped it. You tracking with me? So the negative part of a power flips it. The negative part of the power flips it. So right here, that negative part of the power flipped it, and then the 2, 3 squared, is 9. 9 over 1 is just 9. Question?
So what if it were like 2/3 instead of 1/3?
Yeah, good question. So if it was 2/3 to the negative 2, so what would the negative right here, the negative part of the power would flip it. So the 3 would go to the top, the 2 to the bottom, and then the 2 power would go on both of them. Right? Right? Because that 2 power was on everybody, right?
Yeah.
So he's got to hit everybody after the flip. Right?
Yep.
That making sense? No? And then 3 squared is 9, 2 squared is 4.
Okay, then that makes sense.
That good? Am I losing you there? That makes sense? So again, the negative part of the power flips whatever, flips it, and then the 2 goes on everybody because he was on everybody.
2.25.
Is that good?
But like on the first one, or you, like, for example, like if 3 had a 1 under it,
Right.
and then so you flipped it, then you get a 2, so it went to the bottom.
Right.
But on this one,
I didn't put it on the bottom.
no, if, yeah.
Is that true? Well, I'm just being lazy. What is 1 squared?
It's 1.
Yeah, I just knew it wouldn't do anything, so maybe I should show the pattern. I knew 1 squared was just 1. But you're right, it does go to both still. Yeah, am I losing you there? Yeah, Karina's question is going, because I didn't show the 2 here. I'm probably just being too casual. I just knew 1 squared was 1. But yeah, it goes to both still. It just, Kent doesn't do anything with 1. Yeah, does that help? Is that better? Does that make it seem like it's more the same every time? So a negative power flips, and then that power goes on everybody. Make sense? Does that help? Yeah. Because it almost looked like I was doing something different. I shouldn't have done that. Sorry. Yeah. So the negative part of the power flips, and then the power goes on everybody. All right, I think that. So okay, so one more time. You guys know, like, if you have 2/3 to the -2, let's do that one more time. What does the negative part of the power do? That flips it. And then the 2 power just goes on everybody, huh? 2 power, 2 power. And so that'll be, what's that, 9/4. Okay, now, what if, let's do that one more time. What if there had been a regular negative sign, not a power negative? You understand there's a difference with a power negative sign, huh? A power negative sign flips. But what if there had been just like a regular negative sign in there? Well, let's just do the same thing. What is the negative part of the power do?
Negative go power, plus.
Flips it. Okay, so we'll just leave that minus sitting in the front. Flips it. Whoops. And then next the 2 is going to go on everybody. But what's the sign in the front going to be in the end?
Positive.
2 negatives, right?
No,
Positive.
positive.
Going to be positive. Everybody see that? So how about starting from right here? What if I just gave you this? Doesn't this mean -3 has 2 negatives? Positive? That good?
Okay, because you would do -3 over 2 again.
Yeah, it'd be -3/2 times -3/2. Negative times negative? Positive. So just the normal rules for negative apply there, is all I'm saying. Nothing new, just the
Because
normal
it's
rules.
inside the parentheses.
Because it's in, yeah, because it's in. So this 2 has power over him. It says 2 minuses. Plus.
Minus go plus.
Is that good? So it would just be
Minus go plus.
plus 3 squared over 2 squared plus, or regular, 9/4. We good?
So they're about the same.
What's that?
Just ignore the negative that's there.
No,
You can do it in the
no,
beginning if you want.
But it's the same. He don't change
You just
anything.
say
It's the
2
same.
minus
He just
plus.
explained the same thing over
It
again.
doesn't matter what you're saying
He
initially.
don't change anything.
And I'm saying really do it anytime you want.
Because it's
Yeah.
minus 2. It
Yeah,
wasn't
because there's 2 of them. That's right.
It was not 2.
So the
It was minus 2.
3
It's the
over
same.
2,
This and
that's
this are the same.
parentheses. When you square it,
But
it's
here,
just
minus
taking the
over
same thing twice.
and regular
Yes.
2.
And that's why they cancel each other.
That's why they
If it was
cancel.
a regular 2, it was the same.
All right, so let's try question number 2. That's all build up for question number 2. So here we go. Question number 2.
Number 2 now.
Whoops. -1/5
Minus 1
to the -2. Right. Yeah. All right.
minus 2
Let's try that one.
is equal and 1/25.
Okay, so figure out the sign of the answer first.
1/25.
Figure out at the end, is the answer going to be, what's going to be in the front? Is it going to be negative or is it going to be
It's
positive?
positive, because it's minus minus. Because he, 1 square is 1.
2
And 5
minus
square is
signs, right? Now, that part's going to flip, of course. The minus in the power is a flipper, right? That's going to flip it.
Before he don't put a minus.
But 2 out front minus signs plus.
Yeah.
We good there? It's going to be plus, and then this minus here is going to flip it. 5 squared over 1 squared, and then go on both, which is plus 25 over 1, which is 25. Does that make sense? So again, 2 minus signs. It's plus.
Just like
2 minus signs is plus. And then this minus in the power, minus is the power flip. Is that good? Is that making sense? Questions on that one? All right, 1 over p to the -4. So try that one. So what's that negative in the power zone?
Flips.
What's that going to do? Right. Yeah, so negative powers, they jump to the other side, don't they? Usually I make the analogy, I say it's like being in a job you're negative about, you're unhappy about. You're going to jump to a new job, right? That works. So negative powers are unhappy where they're at. They're negative where they're at. They're going to jump to the other side. Going to jump to the other side, right? So this one is going to jump up there like that. That good? So P, and the 1's up there, but he doesn't do anything. And then the power becomes positive after the jump. Is that good? Is that making sense there? Nothing more to do there. It's just P to the 4th.
Yeah.
So negative powers are unhappy where they're at. They want to jump to the other side. So if they start at the bottom, they're going to jump up. If they start at the top, they're going to jump down. And after the jump, then they're happy. Then they're positive. Reminds me of my daughter, my oldest daughter, when she got her second job out of the house. She got a job at a steakhouse, and she didn't like it. It looked all exciting beforehand, a lot more money. She'd been working at, what's that one burger place? Anyway, some burger place, which I can't remember, up in Herndon, in Fresno. Anyway, then she got at a steak place, making a lot more money, but it was not a happy place there. Management was like rough, and everybody was unhappy. I remember my daughter saying one day she was in the back break room, you can make your choices. All right, so yes, that makes sense? Unhappy where it's at jumps.
So when it flips, the power always stays with that. It's kind of like a baby.
Yeah, the power stays with it. The force stays with it. Yeah, it just jumps to the other side, then becomes positive. That's right. That's right.
That's called doldrums. It's like a girl that go anywhere, like in the water, or more.
Okay. Let's do this one. On the top, huh?
So I know how much.
So only he's going to jump. So why do the 1 stays? And after the jump, he's positive 3, regular 3. He's happy. Now, what does that leave on the top? Yeah, when you have nothing up there, it's a 1. It's a 1. I could show you why some other thing, but for now, it's just 1. And then, what do we do when these are side by side?
We add them.
Add them. So what's it going to be? There it is. 1 over y to the 4th.
These are all rules.
Is that making sense? Negative powers jump. They're unhappy where they're at.
And that's because they have the same letter.